Wilson Morales from Black Film TV. How folks, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Great, thank you.
So much has been made, the book, the film, and so forth. People know what these characters are all about. How much more did you want to make it different outside of what people know about these characters? Sarah Catherine?
Well, I will say, so I was a really big fan of the movie and Dangerous Liaisons, all of it, the whole universe, and was super thrilled to get to join it. And what we've said so many times and what we are so appreciative of is that our showrunners, Sarah Goodman and Phoebe Fisher, really wanted us to come into these roles with a fresh take, a fresh voice, a lot of just newness and really make it our own. And that alone just really relieves any sort of pressure that we might have felt stepping into these iconic shoes. So yeah, I think wow, now I'm like, I don't even, wait, what was the question? Hold on. This is the first time this has happened to me today where I'm like, wait, now I'm losing my train of thought here. I think I answered the question.
No, the question is basically, how did you want to make it different? Zach,
how we wanted to make it different. That's what the question was.
I think that, the series, it's not a remake of the initial film. It's a new chapter. It's a new segment to the series.
Yeah.
I guess the pantheon that is Dangerous Liaisons and Cruel Intentions. And there is a load of new elements in there, as well as a couple of nods to the original. I think the creative ability that we had to make change and to collaborate with Sarah and Phoebe was incredible, and I'm excited for people to see it.
Yeah.
Now the question is, the characters you play, how do you relate to them? I always say there's got to be something in the character, at least a trait that's a little bit of you.
For sure.
So, Sarah Catherine.
I would say we are both very ambitious. I think actors in general tend to be ambitious because we're constantly fighting for roles, jobs, and that's a quality of hers that I really admire, how she really while I don't agree with how she pursues the things that she wants, she stops at nothing to get the things that she desires. And yeah, just her tenacity and boldness and charisma. I think she's a bad bitch, and I love her.
No.
And Zach, are you as bold as Lucien?
Sorry?
Are you as bold as your character?
Oh, in some aspects, sure. No, I think there's a lot of aspects of Lucien that I definitely agree with. There's a lot that I don't, as the same with Caroline. But no, I think that his pursuit for certain outcomes in life is very similar to mine. The same tenacity and that drive, that passion that actors have to have is I guess very close to how I felt with Lucien.
You look at these characters and it's all about identity and how not to lose it. They've created a sense of status within themselves that they don't want to lose it whenever somebody's above them or below them. And even as actors, you work so hard to be in a certain position, you don't want to go back,
Yeah, you gotta maintain it.
Yeah, so when you think about this series, in any sort of realm like the show, like in classes of where everybody wants to establish themselves, and the question is the quest for it. Do they do it ethically or morally? Which one stands out?
Right.
Totally. That being said, congrats on your performances. Congrats on the series. Let's talk down the road. Let's see how far these characters can go. Take care.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Appreciate
much.
that.
Wilson Morales from Black Film TV. Sean, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Obviously, you're the tie-in somewhat, being that you're back, but you're not back. How did this come about for you?
Well, I mean, honestly, I heard about the project, and obviously I was interested. So I auditioned and had meetings with the director and the writers, and things just kind of worked out from there. I was very, very interested in doing it, and I think we all saw the character the same way. We didn't want to just do a rehash of anything that had been done before. So, once we were all on the same page with that, everything just kind of came together.
It's funny when you say you audition. I'm like, what?
Man. You gotta sing for your supper, man.
For you, we will find something for you. Just tell us what you don't want to do. So don't say you audition. 25 years later, you're still auditioning to do a series on a film. All right, we're going to let that one go for now.
the
Cece,
nature of
how's
the
it
beast.
going?
It's all good.
Sarah, I called you by your character names. you know,
It's
but
okay. We're
when
one
you
and the
play
same.
Cece, how much more do you want to add to this character outside of what the script called for?
Oh my God. I mean, I think the script really gave me so much to work with. Like, I obviously brought a lot of my own personal experiences to it, like you always do, but I think I was handed like a full platter of things to play around with. I think one thing that I probably brought that wasn't like directly on the script was like my posture. I'm like actually like not. I think I started off like this and I kind of slowly, but no, like I think physically, like with CC, like I feel like everyone says this when I get into character, like I go like shoop, like just I do ballet, so I feel like this like posture is definitely something that I brought to CC that was really fun. Yeah.
It's, obviously this film, this series, which is a throwback to film, has characters that people can relate with. Even now, no matter how much time goes by, so when you think about the characters you're playing, do you know of anybody that's in that realm, that whether it be the characters you're playing or or another character within the series?
I'm
Sean?
not sure. I'm not quite sure I understand
The
the
question is,
question.
do you know any of these? Do you know any people? Do you know anybody that's similar to any of these characters?
Like in our lives.
Yeah, in their lives, whether you're in high school, college, wherever you may be,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
okay.
there's
Uh-huh.
always a clique everywhere.
Right, right. I mean, I had a cool professor. I mean, I'd like to think that Professor Chadwick is a cool professor. You could correct me if you disagree. But I had a cool professor when I was in college, a guy named Jahan Ramazani. And he took us on a trip to England for a semester abroad. And when I think about this character, I think about Professor Ramazani because he was just real cool. Like he was definitely like, the teacher and in charge, but like he was like somebody relatable and somebody that you could talk to about anything. And I remember that from my time in college.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that because I was trying to think of someone, but then once you started talking about your professor, I started thinking about a teacher that I had that I really liked. And there was no romance, but I feel like, there's something so special about that bond when someone is kind of like opening up your eyes and like seeing you in a way that maybe like your parents didn't see you or like your friends don't see you in that way. And you're like, wait, like you think I'm special? Like, and they teach you so much and you teach them. And yeah, there's a strong bond there for sure.
I always say that, although there's a hook to this series, there's a lot of series on platforms these days. What's going to get an audience to watch this? Anyone of you can answer that.
It's bold.
Yes.
I think it takes risks.
Yeah, and very original as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that it's based off of some source material from a book or play or a movie, but it's very original. There's nothing on streaming right now that's anything like it.
Hey, congrats on your roles. Congrats on the series. I'm still hooked on your audition. I'm going to let that one slide.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's not a problem.
But hey, listen, I'm always there to follow. We've been, I've seen your work for a number of years. So congrats on this, and we'll talk down the road. Take care,
All right,
folks.
man. Thanks.
Thank you.
Wilson Morales from Black Film TV. Hello, folks. How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you? Good.
Good. So much has been made about this series, obviously based on a book, based on true films, and other sort of variations. How much more did you want to add to your characters outside of what the script called for? Savannah?
That's a good question. I really wanted to bring to light that Annie is aware of what's going on. While she's being self-aware because she has to be, because she's the vice president's daughter, she has eyes on her. She's also aware of her surroundings and the games that are being played. And I really wanted to, I wanted to show, like, I want people to see that Annie's really thinking. She's really thinking, and she's smart. She's just a little confused.
Yeah. Any 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Brooke?
Yeah, I feel like Beatrice, you know that she's a reporter, you know that she's, kind of protesting and fighting against this great Goliath, the sororities, the fraternities, all of that. But I think I wanted to bring kind of some vulnerability to her as well too, because anyone who's fighting that, I think you are constantly questioning what you're doing and why you're doing it for the good reasons or not. And I think you see her kind of fall on her face a lot and kind of have to deal with a lot of obstacles that people are presenting. And so, I wanted to bring an aspect of her vulnerability to that and how it does actually affect her. And she's not just this like powerhouse push through no matter what. She still does,
Right.
but you kind of see that it does hurt her in ways and how she kind of pushes through that and pulls herself out of it.
You did that well.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm always saying that, all of the characters looking to find their identity, whether you already have it and not wanting to lose it, or whether or not you want to establish it. You think about Beatrice, and it's sort of like, okay, she's going up against the establishment. Why so? And then you think about Annie. Annie's trying to prove that she's someone that's not part of her family. Having said all of that, with the characters you're playing, how do you relate to each one of them?
I relate to Annie in what you said, the sense of her trying to find her own identity. Unlike Annie, I was blessed to have parents who would support me on my journeys and, my self-discovery.
That's great.
But from a young age, I think that was always really important to me. I always wanted to stand out. I always wanted to go my own way. And I think, I relate to Annie in that way, We all want to find ourselves and have our own identity separate from our parents or what's expected of us. Yeah.
No, definitely. I think that's a great answer.
Thank you.
But I'm like, oh yeah, no, I think that's awesome.
How is Brooke like Beatrice?
How is Brooke like Beatrice? I don't think I'm quite as much of a loudmouth. But I feel like anyone who's kind of felt like an outsider before. I think Beatrice has felt like an outsider in a lot of ways. And I think she's started to realize, I have a line in the show, but it kind of just talks about like, I kind of pushed away what people wanted of me or thought of me or what I could be. And I like found my own like kind of community within that. And I think anyone who's kind of felt like on the outside before, I think will really relate to that with Beatrice. And I have definitely like experienced that. And so I think her and I kind of share that. And I think that's kind of where I pulled some of that like vulnerability is that I think she fights this system, but I think there's a part of her that wants to feel like she belongs, not necessarily to that system, but just in general belong to something and create her voice and her own, reputation and identity and all of that within it. So yeah, I definitely have felt that before trying to find my own. I think as everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone does. And I'm working on it day by day.
Day by day.
Day by day.
But I want to say congrats on your performances. Congrats on the series. Let's keep it going. Let's see where these characters go. We'll talk down the road. Take care.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Wilson Morales from Black Film TV. Hey, folks. How's it going?
Good, Wilson. How you doing, man?
You guys provide a little bit of comical relief in this series, How much more did you want to add to your characters outside of what the script called for? John?
I think. Oh yeah, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say it was easy to sort of play that dynamic alongside Khobe. Khobe would try different things every take. He would use props. He would use ad lib, and it was sort of cool to sort of be around that and sort of just to bounce off of Khobe's natural comedic instincts, which he has plenty of. So that for me to be funny is just sort of building on what offers he was giving me. So that was sort of a cool thing to be part of.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime I get to do more scenes with John as Blaze would be, it was always a pleasure, and I hope to continue to do so. And I think there's still a lot to unpack with those two characters. And I think there's some conversations with his dad that Scott still needs to have and maybe shine more light on that. So I'd love to explore that.
Yeah.
From the previous films and different variations of the book, the show is always, and the characters are always about identity. Those who have it and don't want to lose it, and those who want to find it.
You're good. Nailing it, Wilson. You're nailing okay. It. Okay.
Yeah. Totally.
Keep cooking.
So, how would you say you identify with the characters you're playing?
Everyone struggles with their identity and who they are and who they'd like to be and how they're seen.
Yeah.
I think it is a great story of people struggling with their identity and trying to find it. And I think they do or they don't in many ways, for sure.
Yeah. Blaze too. Blaze is he's showing the world one thing, feeling another, and that's I think something we can all kind of relate to. Is he feeling positive, benevolent things? No, but he's feeling something different to what he's showing. So that's sort of a cool aspect to tap into for Blaze.
And same thing as actors, I'm sure, you guys have worked a long way to get to this point where you guys are now on the show, so now you either want to continue with the show and move on up, because you ain't trying to go back down. You ain't trying to do what you do.
Yeah, dude.
You are,
where have you been on my life?
You are light.
Yeah.
You're not trying to go back to the humble beginnings.
I've been humble.
I have been very humble.
Yeah.
I still,
it's like, you like to say, that used to be me.
Yeah. Well, in a way, I hope. I think. John has had success after success for 15 years, and for me, this is kind of my break into this. So I feel, in a lot of ways, that this is the beginning, and I'm super grateful, and I feel super lucky. I could go on and on about how amazing this has been.
The good thing about the show is that it's modernized to now, as opposed to we're not going back in time and so forth, so with so many programs out there, whether it be in theaters or on streamers, what's a good reason to start watching Cruel Intentions if you've never been aware of the previous stuff?
Yeah, I think there's something for everybody in there. I think we touch on every aspect. Like I said, we've got the comedic aspect, I like to think, maybe pridefully so. There's drama, there's romance, there's action, there's everything you could sort of put into a TV show, and I think no matter who you are, you'll find something that you like about it. And of course, we just cover generations. The original movie we pay homage to, 99. So if that's your era, or if you're in 2024, that's something that I think the whole family sort of can get around. So yeah, ideally it comes out the 21st. So if you're with your family for Thanksgiving, feel free to chuck it on and see what's up.
Well said. Congrats on your performances. Congrats on the series. We'll talk down the road. Take care, folks.
Thank you, Wilson. You're awesome, man.
That was fun.
Take it easy.
Wilson Morales from Black Film and TV. Here we are. Obviously, there's a lot of people that have seen different variations, whether it be the first film, the second film, other variations. How different did you want to make this, what people have seen already, to make it your own? Sara?
Okay. I think we love the taboo of it. We love the irreverence. We love the humor. We love the cruelty. But I think we want to see a version that's ongoing, that has different characters and dynamics, and still pays homage to all of those originals, and somehow is the next iteration that takes place in modern day in a new environment, and the new royal court, which is the Greek system, and where we can really explore all the characters and the dynamics in the most fun, sexy way.
That's the key word. You can modernize it and still keep everything intact. Phoebe, is there anything you wanted to add to the series that's okay, how to place in things that people remember while still making it your own?
Yeah, I think, we're just massive fans of all of the original source material, Dangerous Liaisons, Cruel Intentions. I throw in Belmont. And I think we just wanted to pay homage, like you said, to all the things that we loved about those original source material. And then also, it is an ongoing series, so we had to, make sure that all those dynamics could be deepened and continued on.
But we need a cross necklace. We need a cross necklace.
You need to.
Yes, I was wondering where that was coming from. But besides that, you got John Patrick Thomas, and it was interesting. He goes, "I had to audition." You had to audition? Why don't you just say you? I'm saying, how is that possible? 25 years later, they couldn't find a role in there for him.
We never tell people he had to audition. The fact he's telling people he needed to audition. We were so excited by the idea of him doing it, and he didn't have to send an audition tape. We met with him and he did an audition for us. And I think we just wanted to make sure that it didn't feel exactly like that character from the movie, that we could separate it enough to have it be a call out and an homage, but to have him play this new character, which is an intellectual and a professor at crossroads with himself. So I think that part was very different than the original movie, and we just wanted to make sure that fit, and that he and Sarah Silva, who plays Cece, would be the right fit as well. But we were so excited to have him.
Yeah.
Do not. I mean, don't let him convince you otherwise.
You know, as I talk to the cast, the thing I said is that, you know, all of the characters are having identity issues. Either they have it and they don't want to lose it, or they're trying to find themselves. You know, as he wrote different characters, you know, was there a challenge in determining who's still trying to find themselves and who's just trying to like not to lose it? Obviously, when you think about, you know, the true lead, I won't say the true leads, but, you know, some of the characters that they're already there. They just don't want to lose the position that they have. And that goes everywhere, you know, whether you're on a team or on a show, anything like that. There's always a clique of sorts, you know, and the question is, you know, how far up or down are you?
I think that's part of what the joy of setting it in college is, or any kind of young person show, which I think I continue to be attracted to, even though I'm not young anymore. I think, but I think those identity crises, even for the ones who have it, aren't gone. And that everyone's still trying to figure out where they fit and how they want to be perceived, and is how they're perceived really who they are, and all of those identity things that keep going on that we have much more compassion for when people are young. Mm-hmm. People don't have that much compassion for it as you get older and older and are like, I'm not sure this is who I am anymore, or I want to be seen as this. And I think in college that's what people are dealing with, and they're dealing with it in high school, and to be able to explore it without making it what the show is about in an earnest way, I think for us was like what we were talking about in terms of making the characters deeper, giving them internal conflict as well as external conflict. So that was really fun for us.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that, you know, even the ones who have, you know, quote unquote made it, are still, you know, college students, so they are on the precipice of the rest of their lives, really. So, you know, how set in stone are those identities? And that's part of the fun as well.
Yeah.
Although the title brings in a certain audience from those who already know what they're probably going to see, it's still a challenge to get an audience. Now that we got a boatload of programs on streamers, what's going to get an audience to see Cruel Intentions and stick with it?
You're going to tell everybody to watch it.
Right? Please.
Well, that's our job to do, but congrats on the series. You know, we'll make it so. We'll be telling people that, hey, Sean's back, but not back. And everybody else is just having fun.
Yeah, I think, honestly, there's nothing like it on television right now, and it's fun, and it's an escape, and I think once you get into it, it's hard to let go.
Yeah.
And that's always the point. So congrats again. We'll talk down the road. Take care.
Thank you.